Hi everyone, good morning. It's Monday morning and I just wanted to get into the Word today a bit. Isaiah 42. Today we are in a section on page 108 of the Passion Translation called The Blind and Deaf to Truth. And let's read here. It says, "Hear me, you deaf. Look up, you blind, and see. Who is as blind as my servant Israel? Or as deaf as the messenger I send? Who is as blind as my covenant friend? As blind as Yahweh's servant? Israel, you have seen so much, but you don't get it. You've been taught so much, but what did you really hear? For the sake of his righteousness, Yahweh was eager to exalt his law and make it glorious. But this is a people plundered and robbed, trapped in holes and hidden in houses of bondage. They are like prey that no one will rescue, like spoil with no one to say, 'Bring them back.' Doesn't anyone understand this? Will any of you pay attention to this in the future? Who gave up Jacob to looters and Israel to robbers? It was Yahweh himself against whom we sinned, by not walking in holy ways, nor heeding holy words. So he poured out the heat of his anger, and they suffered the fury of war. His anger enveloped them in flames, but they still did not understand, consumed by fire, yet they did not take it to heart." Let's read down in the notes here for verse 22, which is, "This is a people plundered and robbed, trapped in holes, and hidden in houses of bondage." That word bondage is prisons, and it says this section, verses 18 through 25, deals with God's people in bondage. Judah was held captive in Babylon. The church is held captive to religious systems and to concepts from which Jesus came to set us free. We must always be careful to hear and see with hearts open to God and ready to receive the new thing God is doing on the earth today. Jesus was blind and deaf to doing anything other than the will of his Father. God is still restoring the church and making us like Christ, free and full of new life. So I just, I think this is interesting because I've been thinking about a religious spirit over the last 24 hours or so, about how it responds to people. And religion is such bondage. It doesn't know how really to respond to people. It's Jesus and the person of Jesus and who he is as being truth and the way, and he is life. And that is the way to respond to people. That is the way to parent. That is the way to have relationship with people. And when you throw in or mix in a religious spirit, it just jumbles everything up. And so I'm constantly, for myself, trying to unlock the doors in my own life, the prison doors of religion and religiosity, and responding religiously. I guess that's how I want to talk about it today. It's just kind of a thing that I've been pondering when I read things and the way that news is reported and how Christians respond. And so much of our response comes across as religious. And it isn't the heart of God that people are hearing or encountering or coming to know, and it's so sad to me. And so I know some of my responses are kind of knee-jerk responses as well. And it's kind of like something inside of you will be triggered, and you think, oh, that goes against all the rules, or oh, that wouldn't work in my church, or something. It's so slippery, it's hard to put your finger on, but those kinds of reactions are not really God's heart. It's not the depth of who he is. And I'm really, as an older parent, so challenged when I see children who are growing up now. I have teenagers, but other people as well, even young adults. Just having had dinner last night with a gal that's just barely 30. So I just think that they are responding to the world and the culture and the place that we live in now, called 2019, differently than what I have always responded, the way that I've responded. And I'm learning from them, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to keep my heart open to their responses and the way they treat people and handle things. And I think I was thinking this morning that our culture is demanding answers, and we really have to rethink our responses. One of the things I really enjoy about being at this church that we're at right now at Bethel, when I get the heart of the leadership and I understand how they are mentoring people in high positions, whether it be in government, politics, even other governments in other nations, they're actually mentoring and discipling people behind the scenes. Also doing this with celebrities. Pepper, shh. Pepper, no. Sorry about that. Also doing it with celebrities and just having a ton of influence. And of course, we're not the only ones here. But what I'm catching and what I'm quietly learning is the way that they talk to them. And there is a way to talk to people who are coming into a relationship with Jesus. Even just recently listening to one of the leaders here talking to some of the people in the technology industry and how he's sharing the gospel with them. It just blew my mind the way that he was speaking to them. It was so not Christianese that I felt like they were almost being tricked into the gospel. But it wasn't being tricked. It was something of a gifting of communicating without a religious spirit. And that's my takeaway for today, is that this bondage that we're trapped in, the holes and hidden places in houses of bondage, we want to get them out. We want to get ourselves out. And over here at the top of the next page, at page 109, Yahweh himself, against whom we sinned, has brought in the looters and the robbers. And I don't want to pull this out of context just to make my point, but just to say that he is allowing people to come into our sphere of influence, or us to go into their sphere of influence. And we don't speak the same language, and we need to be able to come down to their level. Yeah, so that's all I just wanted to say. Let's stay. It says the very last words here, they did not take it to heart. I just want to take to heart who the Lord really is, what he's really all about, who would he really cover, who would he really defend. I am so saddened by what happened in New Zealand this week, the shooting that happened at the mosque, and it was a complete outrage, disgrace, and dishonor to the people group. And then this morning on my Facebook page, I posted another story, and I asked, is anyone in the news, mainstream news, going to ever take a look at what's happening to Christians? Because 52 Christians were slaughtered in Nigeria on Monday. 100 homes were destroyed, and there's just a catastrophic demonic assault against Christians there. And so I just wonder if anyone will take up their cause as well, and that we will be fair and legit in this world in 2019, the world that we live in. All right, so it's just not the news that sells. We need to give everybody all the news and have a heart for everybody, whether they're Muslim, Jew, Christian, female, male, in or out in our mind. Yeah. Oops. Shh, Pepper. No, no. Shh. So that's all I wanted to say today. There must be someone walking their dogs. And there's my cup of coffee. And I'm going to take Penny to school now, and I hope you all have a good day. And God bless you. Here's our side yard that I trimmed all the branches yesterday. Lots of yard work. Okay, love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.